down. I wish we had that. That was amazing. We're getting into like full on reads of each other at this point.
I mean, I love
We're reading
everybody, but
ourselves.
but we're definitely reading ourselves because, like we said, if you talk shit about people, then, you know a lot about your topic because you're doing the same shit. Come on. Jeez.
That's how we're qualified to run this podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is Mary.
And this is Julie.
And you are listening to the High Priestess Hype Club. So this episode, we're talking about Mercury Retrograde.
Ever heard of it? It's late.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, you've been lucky, ? I guess. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. Because I see it in like some mainstream stuff. Like people will talk about Mercury retrograde now. I'm like, look at that.
Yeah.
I was finding another reason to not take responsibility for things.
Look, Mercury's in retrograde and everything sucks. Right. I can't talk to any of you.
So that's in a nutshell, Mercury retrograde turns your life upside down for 3 weeks. That's it in a nutshell.
Multiple times a year.
Yes.
Yay!
Well, yeah, so this one's going from the 29th of December to the 18th of January. And it's in Capricorn.
Way to kick it off.
Right.
Let's go 2023.
Right. Thanks for bringing us in with Mercury retrograde.
I know. Well, they're supposed to be good for like reviewing and revisiting things, right? Like, don't some people say that? Like,
absolutely,
time to reflect and review, and so maybe that's a good start.
Yeah,
you tell us though.
No, I think that's a perfect way to say it, because retrogrades are when the planets are. I call it like the planet has a cold. Like Mercury somehow got a cold. He's not at full power, but he's still who he is, but he's like not quite who he usually is. So the things he's doing, like, when you've gone to work sick, I don't know if I've had to,
we live in America.
Right. So, you're there, but you're not quite there.
Yeah.
Same thing when a planet goes retrograde. So when Mercury does that, then all your communications, your travel, your shopping, your ordering of things, deliveries will be late. Mechanical things, so you got to watch out with your car and all your stuff like computer, phone, all that stuff up, especially
back
photos.
It up. Yeah,
because it rules that it and like I said, mechanics, car stuff, wheel stuff. So here's the thing I'll tell folks, like if you know there's something that needs to be fixed or backed up, or like just do it, because if you don't, possibly during Mercury retrograde, especially if you use these things for work, then are gonna they're gonna delay you, which if you have something really important happening, that's not a good thing. So
I should probably publish our next podcast before Thursday. Finish editing. So there's a little behind the seenes for y'all.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's it might not go off at the time that we launch it usually, so we got to have a plan B.
Yeah,
that's really what it's about. But what's interesting, like I always say, we have the planet, which is what happens. So the planet is all about the communications, things like that. And then it adds the flavor of what the planet's doing, gets added by the sign.
So we're getting a splash of Capricorn on it.
Right. Oh, I like that.
A little splash.
A little splash of Capricorn.
Little splash of Capricorn.
Yeah. So all about career, all about your reputation. If there's anything that you're known for, so quote your fame. People are known for things. You don't have to be Madonna. Though I don't. Side note: what is Madonna doing to her face, girl?
She needs to stop. Oh, she was pretty before.
Yeah, something's like I don't know.
We're like pushing a Kenny Rogers situation over there, and it's tough. I feel bad. It is Kenny Rogers, right? Suddenly I can't remember.
Yeah, he's very pulled back. He's very pulled up and pulled back.
And not in a fun, like Patsy pretending on Ab Fab kind of way. Like
no. Yeah. No, he did too much around his eyes, I think, especially.
Madonna needs to stop too.
She does, because I just don't. She's beautiful and she's the great one, Madonna. But
Madonna, like.
But whatever you're doing, Mags, no. No. Okay, bring that beauty back. We want some more fat in the face. They're doing that. That's the other thing. Side note. Did you? Side note. Side note on a side note. Surgeries during Mercury retrograde.
Oh, bad idea.
Might not be the best idea. Just mentioning that. Signing contracts, anything like that, not good during Mercury retrograde. So that was the side note on the side note. Because I was talking about surgery. But
I have a question about that second side note before we go back.
Go
Is
ahead.
there anything that you can do? Like, what do you think people should do who have to do stuff like that during this time? Like, try to just set it up as best and clearly as you can before it happens, maybe?
Yep. So if you have to anything with details, you should definitely read twice or like ask questions. Just if it seems like it's like, oh, they know that because they do that. Not necessarily.
Okay. That's
So
a good
like
call.
double check details. Also, especially for surgeries, you have to show up usually at a certain time. Say it's a half an hour away from you. Like, and I'm not trying to exaggerate. Give yourself 45 minutes to an hour to get there. The extra time.
Oh, right, because it's cars and communication.
And communication. Yeah. So you want to make sure that, and check all your details. Like I've done stuff like I've called places just like, hey, I have an appointment tomorrow at such and such. And they're like, oh no, it's at such and such building.
Right. And
If I hadn't called.
Right. Yeah.
So stuff like that. I mean, yeah, we have to live life. Don't get me wrong. We have to live life. But forewarned is forearmed, as they say.
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And the other thing with the Capricorn Mercury retrograde is that so if you're writing letters like for job interviews, like I know sometimes folks at the beginning of the year, they write, cover letters, resumes, all that.
Yeah.
Double check all of that and double check people received them. If there's something you have to send in, if you're video editing, I know a lot of us folks like to do videos on, rewatch the video, make sure you edited it right. Like there's all these little things that you want to like make sure that you do.
Yeah.
That if you're presenting it, especially for a career, whether it's a employer or just even as your own like brand.
Right.
Double check everything. Are you gonna have big time egg on your face?
Yeah.
Like we're probably gonna hear about someone like there'll be like texts from someone 10 years ago that come out again kind of thing.
Oh, like how people are like, we found on XYZ's Twitter, from 8 years ago that they said something pretty fucking racist or whatever that comes up. And then there you get the repercussions of that.
Yeah. So that could happen. The other thing that happens is people can reappear in your life. This is we always, as astrologers, we're always like, we're warning you about your ex, right?
Your ex will show back up.
Your ex could come, but this can also be like ex bosses now, like
because career and reputation.
Right. So you might have things that have impacted that show back up again. So just to be aware of that. It could be relationship, but I think it's more of like the career kind of leaning things. Like someone may be looking for a recommendation from you. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you might hear from the past on that.
Yeah, I can always feel a Mercury retrograde coming. I'm not lying. I can't believe I'm telling you all this because I'm like, I wonder how whatever X is doing. How are they doing? And not even that I'm like, let me get in touch, but it's like, oh, I wonder how. And then like my brain goes like, don't be that X during Mercury retrograde. Like you all may be friends and stuff still, but just chill out. Like it's okay. Like just be normal. Don't be weird.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's like, you look at your phone, you're like, oh, there they are. Hello.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Hi. So watch out for the stuff that like has to do with your reputation, your fame, your career, your, the places that you feel like is your life purpose. That's what I think. And you may also revisit a life purpose. You may decide like, oh, I wanted to start a podcast before, but I didn't have a chance. Now it's coming back.
So and then you get 3 weeks to kind of think about it and prep and then go forward maybe.
Go for it. Yeah. Because this is a time to plan it, not necessarily execute. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, good point. Look at you, Julie.
I'm learning. You're teaching me stuff. Hey. You and Jessica Laniato. I am learning all over the place.
Why not?
Keep plugging her. I'm like, we want to be on with you one day. We love you, Jessica Laniato. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so is it Mars retrograde too? Is that problematic when they're both retrograding or not necessarily? I don't know what interacts with what in different ways.
No, that's a good question. Mars goes direct on January 12th.
Okay.
Mars is retrograde right now.
Right.
So anything that you're trying to do, because Mars is also retrograde, you're not going to go far. So that goes direct on January 12th, and then Mercury goes direct on January 18th. So there's 1 week where it's like, I want to do things,
Mhm.
and then you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is like, you might have to circle back, you might have to double back, you might not have all the information, kind of thing. So don't get frustrated if during that week, January
Yeah.
12th to January 18th, you can't get like traction, because it's just,
Mhm.
you can't. It's
Mhm.
Mercury's still going, ha, still screwing with ya. Thanks,
Retro
Mercury.
shade.
Right.
Yeah. I think Jessica Lanyadoo coined that, and I've
I
stolen that,
love
where she talks
that.
about the retro shade from the few weeks before and the
Mhm,
few weeks
mhm,
after the retrograde.
mhm.
Plus, the idea of shade makes me laugh. So.
Well, me too. But I could feel that too. Could you feel Mercury retrograde yeah, you said you could feel
Girl.
it, right?
Well, I can feel that part, and I was noticing it a lot, and, like, because now we're doing this podcast, and I was like, I would end up putting out a podcast, and I can hear, I don't know if anybody else is like, "Her editing's really sloppy," but, like, I could
No.
see pieces where I was like, "I thought I edited that out," or, "I thought
Mhm.
that this," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be that we can
Mhm.
always blame things on the planets,
That's right.
and the stars. That's fun,
Right.
but also I like using it to try to, like, find out just as times to kind of think about other things, right? Like,
Mhm.
what's a good theme of right now that I can focus on? Whether or not I don't think we're all like fully like, the stars are puppeting you, like
Oh,
bandersnatching your life. But I think that, like, did you watch Bandersnatch when that happened? Oh, it's
sounds
Bandersnatch is
delightful.
sidebar of a sidebar of a sidebar of
Right.
a sidebar. Bandersnatch is when Black Mirror did the choose your own adventure version of Black Mirror on
Ooh.
Netflix. And then people started making jokes about, like, I wish whoever is bandersnatching my life would get me to the gym more because this is really rough, or like whatever. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
We're
it's a good
incorporating that in. Vandersnatch?
bandersnatching. Mhm.
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 Yeah.
Depressing episode, but it's Black Mirror, so of course it's
Of course.
depressing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, Netflix, give me some more of that.
Right, right. Give me
Right.
some more. Yeah.
Side
But
note of a side note. Yeah.
I love it. We're tangential. Fire sign energy. One day
That's
I'll
right.
make that clip
Mm.
after all these retrogrades end. Maybe I'll have the wherewithal to do it. We're gonna start recording late from now
Yeah,
on.
well,
Unless you don't want us to, write into us
no.
at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com.
That's right,
We
that's
will love
right.
to hear from
Yes,
you.
and we're on all the social medias, so
Except
please
for
follow
Twitter.
us. Yep,
Yes.
except for Twitter. Yes, that is very true. We're just like, "You know what, Elon, you can keep that.
Just go
You
away.
That's all yours. You can
Just
have
go
it,
away.
enjoy, and we'll just stay right off that."
Mhm.
But we're everywhere else.
We're everywhere else. I
Everywhere
didn't
else.
mean to usurp is there anything else we need to know about Mercury
No,
retrograde?
you didn't usurp it. I think that's, but I'm sure people have questions, so if you have questions, you write
Yes,
into
send
us.
them in and we'll follow up. We
Yeah,
promise.
we promise. So, listen, guys, listen to us next time. You know how to find us. And thanks for listening. And just remember, everyone is magic.
Yay.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at High Priestess Hype Club and subscribe to us on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on now because we're back every Thursday to hype you up. Email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.